When it comes to musical superstars, it seems as if few have risen as rapidly as Cardi B. How did she transform from a dancer to a hit artist almost overnight? We'll let you know how she quickly evolved into the performer that we all know and love today. Before we get into the evolution of Cardi B, take a moment to subscribe to the taco. Now let's continue. It may shock you to know that there was a time in her life when Cardi B was doing less than fabulous. Much less, in fact, when she was young and stuck in a relationship she is referred to as controlling. According to Cardi B, her now ex-boyfriend would constantly tell her what to do, and she was forced to comply because she relied on him financially. At the time, they were living with this man's mother in a filthy apartment riddled with bedbugs. Cardi was beyond broke and couldn't even contribute to the monthly rent. This fact was frequently thrown in her face and prevented her from getting out of her awful living conditions and unhealthy relationship. Although someone taking up exotic dancing when they hit rock bottom is sort of a trope, to Cardi B it was freedom. She began earning and saving thousands of dollars, and for the first time she could afford to think about her future. Her fellow dancers were surprisingly good influences and warned her to plan ahead in order to avoid being out of work later in life. After all, dancing is the sort of job which typically has a pretty short shelf life. So she set up a plan in motion and vowed to save up $100,000 by the time that she was 25 years old. Then she could purchase an investment property and rent it out in order to guarantee herself a steady source of reliable income. During this period of her life, the only goal on Cardi B's mind was to save up as much money as humanly possible in order to gain financial freedom. One money-making venture that she decided to pursue was starting up an Instagram account. It's strange to imagine it now, but there was a time when Cardi simply viewed Instagram as a short-term plan in order to generate some cash flow for her investment property. She had generated a good number of followers by posting selfie videos where she gave relationship advice, made jokes, and was just generally the authentic Cardi B that so many people adore. Because of her clever business savvy and her likable personality, she managed to leverage her Instagram fame into an even more profitable venture. Cardi would set up paid appearances to appear in a variety of nightclubs, and fans would flock for the chance to see their idol in person. And as a reminder, this was before Cardi B had actually put together any of the music which we know and love today. Her initial fan base was dedicated to her simply because they adored her personality to such an extent, which is impressive to say the least. At this point in time, a few different things began to happen for Cardi B. She realized that perhaps she had been thinking too small when it came to her future. Instead of dancing or being a landlord, she might be able to truly make it as a celebrity. Instead of investing in property, Cardi B decided to take a huge leap and began to invest in herself and starting a career in music. Another thing was that her social media presence, which had already been enormous, was continually expanding. In 2015, she was invited to join the cast of the VH1 reality show Love and Hip Hop New York during its 6th season. The show was supposed to chronicle both the personal and professional struggles of people who were trying to make it in the challenging music business. While that sounds great in theory, it's not really what audiences usually end up seeing. More often than not, we got glimpses of a massive, unscripted soap opera with some music thrown in every now and again. For people who spend a lot of on-camera time in the studio, they don't seem to actually be releasing a lot of music. This show was an ideal match for Cardi B because it was huge in the realm of social media engagement. Each time an episode aired, there were tons of Twitter buzz about it. People were definitely talking about it, but not necessarily listening to the music on it. Then came Cardi B, who already had her own loyal and massive legion of social media followers before appearing in a single episode. It was a match made in heaven, and now Cardi B finally had some resources in order to make her music happen. She had given up dancing a couple of months prior, and the producers pounced on this fact. According to Cardi B, they were desperate to portray her as an unintelligent exotic dancer whose musical career would go nowhere. But Cardi knew what she was worth and wouldn't let anyone convince her otherwise. She already had the millions of followers that others were desperate to get, and was packing clubs with them without even singing a tune. Producers wanted to dumb her down and make it seem like she was struggling, but she was really a rising star, they just didn't know it yet. It seemed like many of the women on Love and Hip Hop existed purely to support the men in their lives. And if you know anything at all about Cardi B, you know that is definitely not what she's about. Sure, she has had her relationship struggles just like anyone else, but she joined the show's cast with one goal in mind: to launch her music career. This focus is what helped her to succeed where others failed and kept her from veering off course. Because of her strong and magnetic personality, she could have easily been one of the many reality stars to make it their career. Her Love and Hip Hop co-stars such as Stevie J, Lil Scrappy, and Young Jock went from spin-off to spin-off, but Cardi didn't want to take the easy way to a paycheck. After just 2 short seasons on the show, she decided her time had been enough to gain all she could, and it was time to move on. Instead of working in the studio to look good for the camera, she actually went to the studio to buckle down and focus on creating content. The same year that she joined the cast, she accomplished many things musically. Cardi B made her musical debut on the remix of Boom Boom by Shaggy. She also appeared in her first music video, which was a rendition of English rapper Lady LeSure's Queen's Speech 4. Then, in March 2016, Cardi B dropped her first full-length project in the form of a mixtape. After appearing on the digital cover of the Viva issue of Vibe magazine, she then collaborated with KSR Group artists Hood Celebrity, Swift on Demand, Cashflow Harlem, and Josh X. So once she left Love and Hip Hop, how did things go for Cardi B? Well, within just a few months, she had become the show's most unlikely success story. She released her second mixtape and signed a multi-million-dollar record deal with Atlantic Records. Then, in June of 2017, she released a little single that you may have heard of called Bodak Yellow. It was released online by Atlantic Records, and just a month later she performed in live on The Wendy Williams Show. This meant people outside of her legion of devoted fans got the chance to hear her music, and they couldn't get enough of it. Bodak Yellow was soon in the top 2 songs of the US Billboard Hot 100 chart and was #1 on Hot R&B Hip-Hop Songs. In September 2017, the song was first on the Hot 10 chart, which was totally groundbreaking. A female solo rapper hadn't made it to that position since Lauryn Hill's song Doo-Wop, That Thing, did so back in 1998. This was a huge accomplishment and cemented the fact of the matter, which was that Cardi B was a massive hit. It stayed on top of the charts for weeks, tying with Taylor Swift's Look What You Made Me Do as the longest-running song from a woman in 2017. She also became the first person of Dominican heritage to reach #1 of the Hot 100 since its inception way back in 1958. This song was everything and everywhere, and it was just the beginning of Cardi B's career. To those few people who weren't fans, it seemed as if this megastar powerhouse had emerged out of nowhere and now we couldn't stop singing along with her. If anyone had been skeptical that a reality TV star could turn successful recording artist, they were promptly disproven with the tremendous success of Bodak Yellow. The same year, she would also release Motorsports with Migos and Nicki Minaj and Bartier Cardi featuring 21 Savage. Now, since she had spent years amassing an enthusiastic fan base and released a variety of tantalizing hit songs, we couldn't wait to get our hands on the first Cardi B album. Invasion of Privacy was her debut studio album, which was released in 2018. It sold 235,000 in just its first week. This made Invasion of Privacy the second best sales week of 2018 after Justin Timberlake's Man of the Woods. Of that total, 103,000 were from traditional album sales, while a record-breaking 135,000 were from streaming equivalent albums. Previously, the top spot for album streams from a female artist belonged to Beyoncé's Lemonade, but now it belonged to Cardi B. So now that we know where she has been, let's talk about where Cardi B will be going in the future. It seems that for the most part of her life, she has been underestimated by those around her. There were people who were content to dismiss her as just a dancer for a long time. Then she appeared on Love and Hip Hop, where she was expected to act as a supporting cast member for the men of the show. But now she's a huge musical success in her own right, and in such a short period of time that it's truly incredible. As far as her personal life goes, she's now engaged to rapper Offset. After dating for less than a year, he proposed to her in front of thousands of fans at Power 99's Powerhouse concert in Philadelphia. Offset claimed that the public proposal was because he's just so proud to be romantically involved with Cardi. And don't worry, Cardi has plenty to show off as well, since Offset presented her with an engagement ring worth $500,000. It seems she can't stop being excited about her man and has even drawn criticism for mentioning him over and over in her songs. But it could just be the fact that she's singing for two now, since she's recently announced she's pregnant with Offset's child. And in true Cardi B fashion, she announced her pregnancy in a fabulous way. During an appearance on Saturday Night Live, she showed off her burgeoning baby bump in a tight white dress. Rumors had been circulating about her being pregnant for a while, but Cardi wanted to announce it on her own terms. While many fans were happy to celebrate her impending motherhood with her, others were less so. Many pointed out that her musical career is really just getting started, making this a less than ideal time to bring a child into the world. However, Cardi wasn't deterred. She pointed out the fact that she's been through so many horrible things in her life and still managed to come out on top. Not only is she not the type of person to let outside factors slow her down, but how could she do so when she now has her own child counting on her? Cardi has admitted that Offset plans on them living in Atlanta, Georgia to raise a family there, but for some reason she just feels like she can never truly leave New York. Not only did she grow up there, but it's where her career is, and she admits that she feels drawn to the city. She may be a mother soon, but we have no doubt in our minds that Cardi B is going to keep putting out amazing music and being her authentic self. After all, that's how she got this far in life, so why mess with what works? Many people have also pointed out that there is a rather sexist double standard which exists for working mothers. Nobody has accused Offset of making a bad career move by becoming a father, so why question Cardi B becoming a mother? She still has the huge audience, talent, and charisma that got her this far in her career, and that's not going to change just because she's a mother. All she needs to do is keep doing what she's doing, and we expect to see more great things from Cardi B in the future. What do you think of the way that Cardi B rose to fame? Do you think she went about things the right way, or did she take a few shortcuts too many? Let us know what you think in the comments section, and then click on the subscribe button to get more videos from the Taco. Bye for now!